So today what we're going to talk about are nonfiction text features and the main idea from that text. And so those of you that may not know, fiction basically means fake or not real. And nonfiction, the way it helps me remember it is it's not fake or is real. And so the story that we're going to read today is called Penguins. It's a National Geographic book that was written by Anne Schreiber. So let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so some of the features that we're going to be looking at today, you have table of contents, bold words, pictures, captions, index, glossary, and heading. This book doesn't have quite all of those features, but I will mention what they are and where they normally would be. So you ready to get started? This is a very, very good book. So here we see our table of contents. Now, when you read a fiction book, you read it from beginning to end. In a nonfiction book, you can look at the table of contents and maybe you see a part that looks interesting to you. So maybe you see penguin parade and you're thinking, what is a penguin parade? So you can just skip to page 26 and read about it. So that's what makes nonfiction and fiction books different. This one you don't necessarily have to read from beginning to end. So that is our table of contents. So penguins, what are they? What birds cannot fly? What birds spend most of their lives in the ocean but are not fish? What birds live in the coldest part of the world all year long? They swim, they march, they slide through the snow. They are penguins. And this right here is considered a heading. So the heading is what they talk about here. So what are they is the question, and that question is answered here. Where are they? All penguins live between the equator and the South Pole. So remember, the equator is like an invisible line that splits the Earth in half. And so everything above the equator is places like North America, Canada, and then you have below the equator where Antarctica is. So all penguins live between the equator and the South Pole. And the South Pole you can see right down here where you see a bunch of little penguins. But some live in warmer places like the coast of Africa or Australia. So you also see them here. And I know when you typically think of penguins, you think of ice and snow and cold places, but not necessarily, because there are some that live in warm climates too. So here we have pictures, which are also common in nonfiction texts. And then this could be a caption, but it's explaining some of the words. So I mentioned equator just a minute ago. So it's an imaginary line halfway between the North and South poles. And what is a coast? A coast is a place where land meets water. So if you've ever been to Galveston Island, where the beach is, that is a coast, actually the Gulf Coast. So penguins live on islands, on coasts, and even on icebergs in the sea. They just need to be near water because they spend most of their lives in water. not just any bird. Penguins are perfect for their lives at sea. They have a sleek shape for speed. A layer of blubber keeps them warm. So this is an emperor penguin, and the captions and pictures kind of explain. So this is a close-up picture, or you can see it better than in the big picture anyways. They have big webbed feet for better steering. So they also have layers of soft feathers to trap heat. Stiff, oily feathers on top keep out water. And they also have stiff flippers, which act like boat paddles to push and steer. And they also have big eyes to see underwater. And what does webbed mean? Connected by skin. Now, if you notice, this book doesn't have any bold words yet, but I bet you at the end of the book in the glossary is like a dictionary. So that's where a lot of the words are that are in bold, if they are in bold, or if you see them here where they're defining them for you. Their black backs make them hard to see from above. Their light bellies make them hard to see from below, but it's their strong, solid flippers that help them escape predators and get where they want to go. Penguins can swim about 15 miles an hour. When they want to go faster, they leap out of the water as they swim. It's called porpoising because that's what porpoises do. And what is a predator? A predator is an animal that eats other animals. And here is a joke at the top. So, did the penguin leap out of the water by accident? No, he did it on purpose. So, what's for dinner? Life in the ocean is fishalicious. Penguins eat a lot of fish. They have a hooked bill or beak to help them grab their dinner. Barbs on their tongues and in their throats help them to hold on to slippery food. Would you like a drink of salty water to go with that fish? Penguins are able to clean the salt out of ocean water. They get fresh water to drink, and the salt dribbles back into the ocean. And that is really, really cool because they're the only animals I know that can turn salt water into fresh water. Because for any other creature and us, you can't drink salt water because it would dehydrate your body. So, bird words, what is a barb? It's something sharp and pointy like a hook. So, they have those on their tongues and in the back of their throat to help hold on to the things they eat, like fish, for example, because they're very slippery. And what is this joke? What's a penguin's favorite food? An iceberg. While penguins are slurping down their dinners, they have to be careful not to end up as dinner themselves. Penguins are the favorite food of marine mammals such as leopard seals and killer whales. Penguins are also in danger on land. Birds like the skua, the Australian sea eagle, and the giant petrel eat penguins. Even cats, snakes, foxes, and rats eat penguins when they can. Isn't that crazy? So, what are marine mammals? They have fur and give birth to live young. Unlike other mammals, they spend most of their time in the ocean. Life on land. On land, most penguins live in a large colony with thousands or even millions of other penguins. If it's cold, they huddle together. It's so warm inside a huddle that penguins take turns moving to the outside to cool off. Penguins march together to get to their nesting grounds. Once there, they wave, strut, shake, call, nod, dance, and sing to find a mate. Most penguins stay with their mate for many years. And these are all king penguins in a huddle. Look at that. That is a lot of penguins. And what is a colony? A colony is a group of animals who live together. A chick is born. Most penguins lay 2 eggs at a time, but often only one egg survives. The mother and father take turns keeping the egg warm. When it hatches, the parents keep the chick warm and fed. After a couple of weeks, hundreds or even thousands of chicks wait together while the parents go back to the sea to find food. As the chicks wait, they are in constant danger from skuas, eagles, and other animals. So let's read another joke. How is the penguins' walk to their nesting grounds? Excellent. Finally, the parents return with food. They have to find their chicks in a huge crowd of baby birds. Well, how do they do it? The baby birds sing special songs to help their parents find them. I mean, just think how amazing that is. We just saw the big huddle of the penguins, and just imagine that their chick has such a unique song or sound that they can find them. That's really, really neat. And here's a Gentoo penguin feeding their chick. The longest march. So here they are marching. Here's another joke. Who is the emperor penguin's favorite relative? Antarctica. Sounds pretty funny. For the emperor penguins, getting to their nesting grounds is hard work. Their home is Antarctica, the coldest place on Earth. Emperor penguins nest much farther from the ocean than other penguins. They must march for days and nights through snow and wind. After laying her egg, the female gives it to the male. He will keep it warm in a flap under his belly. Unlike other penguins, the male emperor cares for the egg by himself while the female goes back to the ocean to find food, which is interesting. So it's the male that takes care of the chick while the mom goes out and hunts. The mother is gone for more than 4 months. 4 months looking for food. The father huddles with the other male penguins to keep himself and his egg safe and warm. During this time, the father eats nothing but snow. Could you imagine eating snow for 4 months? We definitely can't do that, but penguins can. When the mother returns in July, the father quickly goes to the ocean to find food. By December, the whole family is ready to go. Penguin Parade. So, how many different species of penguins are there? There are 17 different kinds. You have the fairy penguin, who's only 16 inches tall. And that's so if you think 12 inches is a foot, so it's 1 foot 4 inches. There's the Galapagos penguin, the Snares penguin, rock hopper, yellow-eyed, Fiordland, erect crested, African, and Magellanic. And the African, it says these penguins are the loudest. they sound like donkeys. Wonder what that sounds like coming from a penguin. So the fairy penguins, it says here, they're the smallest ones, of course. Fairy penguins sing more songs than any other penguins. Here's some more. So let's start with the largest. We have the emperor penguin, which is almost 4 feet tall. We have the king penguin, the gentoo penguin, the chinstrap, the royal, the macaroni. And it says here the gentoo are the fastest swimmers. We have the Adelie and the Humboldt. So the king penguins don't make nests. They carry their eggs wherever they go. Penguin play. Life isn't always easy for penguins, but at least they look like they're having fun. So here's a rockhopper penguin. They can hop 5 feet high. That's pretty incredible. So singing. Adults sing to their mates and chicks sing for their parents. Here's a macaroni penguin. Sledding. Penguins speed down icy hills on their feet and bellies to get somewhere fast. Surfing. Penguins surf through the waves. Sometimes they surf right from the water up onto the land. Here's another joke. What do you call a penguin who surfs? A hangtenguin. Okay, and here we are close to the end. So this is what would be called the glossary. This is actually a picture glossary. And like I was saying, it's like a dictionary of vocabulary words that are important to know. So these were all the words that they defined in the book. So a lot of nonfiction books also have what's called an index. And an index also in a way is kind of sort of like a dictionary. It lists important words from the book in alphabetical order. So maybe you wanted to know what page where they talked about baby chicks. So you would go to the index, look under C where it says chicks, and it would tell you what page or pages where you can find where the book talked about chicks. And that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. So what I'd like for you to do for the rest of your library time is to read either from the virtual library on Capstone or go on to Epic. You can get to the virtual library on my Schoology course. And also for Epic, there is details on how to get on there. I have the link and I also have the class code. So I'd like for you to find a nonfiction or not fake, real book about something. And I want you to try to look for the text features that we just talked about. All right? You guys have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.